Good evening, I'm Laura Yamada.
And I'm Paula AKANA. Genshiro Kawamoto, Japanese developer, and now dabbling in landscape architecture.
The eccentric billionaire was turning heads today as he tended to some curb appeal along Kahala Avenue. KITV4's Catherine CRUZ was there. Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Well, you know, people could not believe their eyes. The man who left so many luxury homes in disrepair, now directing the planting of flowers and trees.
It's hard to predict what Kawamoto is up to. Today, he began giving the first of about a half a dozen properties a facelift.
Looks very nice.
Workers say the billionaire gave orders to tear down these walls. He then brought in truckloads of dirt and heavy equipment to move it around. And then he bought 500 bougainvillea plants from the nursery and made sure work crews put them exactly where he wanted. It's in stark contrast to what residents complained about several years ago when Kawamoto bulldozed structures and began filling in swimming pools with rocks and dirt.
This is the way he wants to do the rest of his homes, making the dynamic improvements.
Why the sudden change of heart?
Like he said, he did have it in his plans, but he never had the time to do it.
KITV first reported this summer that under threat of a tax lien, Kawamoto began fixing the violations. He still owes the city thousands of dollars in fines and has about a half a dozen outstanding citations. So what do the neighbors think now?
If he restores the properties and he maintains them and he rehabilitates the property, that's what we would like. We just want him to be a good neighbor.
Kawamoto recently put about a dozen parcels up for sale, but only 2 have sold. The sprucing up is tied to a recent acquisition of 4663 Kahala Avenue.
It's this home here that Kawamoto says he'd like to turn into a museum. It's an idea that he floated several years ago, and he plans to bring his collection of European art from Japan.
He talked about allowing school children to come in for free, but the idea of a museum in a residential area may not please his neighbors. In typical Kawamoto fashion, he hinted another surprise in November.
And by the way, Kawamoto says when he put the dozen homes up for sale this summer, he was doing it to test the market. And again, as we said, he's only sold 2 so far. Back to you, Laura.
Okay, so Catherine, what's the latest on the disputes Kawamoto has in other areas?
Well, Kawamoto says he's in the process of verifying property lines in Kahala, where homeowners have complained of encroaching trees. And interestingly, when we asked about the status of the homeless families that he's taken in Kahala, he says one of the families is doing so well he may consider cycling other needy families through the rent-free homes. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Catherine.